Good afternoon, and thank you for shamrock and rolling with us as we go green and analyze why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. There's a lot of knowledge on the other side of this rainbow, so I wish you might, stick around to the end of our Emerald Isle Fact Parade. Time to sip hooray on this lucky 5th century episode of Brain Drain. Who was St. Patrick? The foremost patron saint of Ireland isn't really from Ireland. Paddy, as his friends called him, was originally from Britannica, or Roman Britain, where he was kidnapped and later moved to and enslaved in Ireland at the age of 16. In his own declaration, the former shepherd said that God told him to flee to the coast, where a ship would bring him home. His prayers were answered, and he later returned to northern and western Ireland as a Christian missionary, where he'd go on to convert generations of future parishioners. But the question could also be framed, who were St. Patrick? Scholars argue that there might have been two men, Patricius and Palladius, whose legend got morphed into one history. But let's assume they were good with paperwork in the 400s, and Patricius was the real, one and only St. Patrick. Legend states that the now Apostle of Ireland used a 3-leaved clover to teach soon-to-be believers about the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. St. Patrick was verbose and was known to plug his walking stick into the ground while sermonizing. One humorous observer noted that he preached for so long that his walking stick developed roots. Speaking of stories rooted in fact, St. Patrick is also known for ridding Ireland of snakes, except for the slithering fact that Ireland never had, and still doesn't have, a snake population to begin with. While it's more fun to believe that St. Patrick chased the lizard truth away, the island was too cold during the last ice age for any Ophidians to survive, and at that point, the land mass had been separated from Europe, leaving no way for serpents to get there, unless, of course, Samuel Jackson's snakes on a plane had to crash land in Dublin. Ridding the snakes was more likely a symbol of eradicating paganism, something Samuel Jackson also did during The Incredibles. When did we start celebrating St. Patrick's Day? March 17th is the accepted and traditional death date of St. Patrick, who lived from around 385 to 461. His mythology grew long after his death, and his legacy began being honored around the 9th century as the feast day of St. Patrick. It existed for many hundreds of years, but it didn't become an official feast day for the Catholic Church and many other denominations until the early 17th century. There's evidence that St. Patrick's Day was celebrated in the United States long before the states were united, long before there were states at all. In 1601, in what is now St. Augustine, Florida, Spanish colonists led by Irish vicar Ricardo Artur led what is believed to be the first St. Patrick's Day parade. On March 17, 1772, Irish soldiers serving in the English military marched to New York City to honor St. Patrick, ending their march naturally at a tavern. The Great Potato Famine of the 1840s led hundreds of thousands of the Irish to move to America for a better life. No state took in more immigrants than that of New York. In 1848, a unified group of New York City-dwelling Irishmen celebrated their culture with a patriotic cavalcade that has now evolved into the largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the world. Today, over 150,000 people march annually, while over 3 million spectators watch the nearly 5-hour celebration. St. Patrick's Day worldwide. It's fair to say that America helped revitalize, reinterpret, and reinvigorate St. Patrick's Day as the Celtic-centric commercial holiday it is today. The first St. Patrick's Day parade in Ireland was in Waterford, like the Crystal, in 1903. On the Emerald Isle, up until the 1970s, March 17th was a day where the church was open, but the pubs were closed. Now, practicing Irish Catholics are given a grace period on St. Patrick's Day for Lenten activity, which is likely why eating and drinking play such a large role in the festivities. Citizens of the land of saints and scholars have been adorning green ribbons and shamrocks to their clothing for centuries. Now, the entire globe goes green on March 17th to celebrate Irish heritage. In the U.S., the Chicago River is dyed green. O'Neill, Nebraska dances on the largest shamrock in the world. Portland, Maine has a frigid 5 a.m. polar bear plunge for charity. And Hot Springs, Arkansas hosts the world's shortest St. Patrick's Day parade on the 98-foot long bridge street. Abroad, the Irish Setter Club wags its way through Tokyo, while the Sydney Opera House lights up green and fellow wonders of the world follow suit, including St. Patrick's favorite, Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. St. Patrick's Day staples and soundtracks. This is the day where Irish soda bread, corned beef, and cabbage finally get their due, while Blarney Stone kissing contests and Guinness records abound. Dropkick Murphys, Black 47, and Flogging Molly get their annual bump in streams and sales, while Oscar Wilde, James Joyce, and Samuel Beckett get some long overdue library visits. Revelers large and small dress like leprechauns, which makes little sense. They're just bearded little shoemakers who love gold and practical jokes. St. Patrick's Day is no joke to the hospitality industry, and with New Year's Eve is the best-selling bar night of the year. So why do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Perhaps it's to honor a prolific cleric from 1600 years ago, or maybe it's to celebrate being able to consume 1600 guilt-free calories. Either way, every March 17th, we honor the skill, the dedication, and the luck of the Irish. So, what's your favorite song to listen to on St. Patrick's Day? What's your favorite Lucky Charm marshmallow? Will you write a limerick for us, or possibly a rhyme? We didn't think so, but give it time. Thanks for watching Brain Drain. I'm Tom Polos, and don't forget to subscribe. It's a no-brainer.